Once again, welcome this afternoon. I am delighted that you have joined us and excited you have chosen to support our efforts to increase scholarship opportunities for Hispanic students in our community. We would like to begin our event with a presentation of the colors by the City of Tampa's Fire Department and the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by invocation by Colonel Evelio Otero. Please stand for the presentation of colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow your heads. Blessed Father, thank you on behalf of all who have gathered here today. Thank you for showering us with your blessings, allowing us to share those blessings with gifted students through the mayor's vision and dedicated community visionaries and philanthropists. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health, for the humbling nurturing you allow us to enjoy today. We come as strong supporters of a wonderful Latinos Unidos historic event. We will depart as friends, wiser for the words of an iconic blesser stalwart of our community, Mr. Richard Gonzmart, and honoring a selfless contributor to our daily life, Tony Morejon. Thank you for every person here this afternoon who filled their heart. Thank you for filling the hearts of the committee dedicated to this gift we call Latinos Unidos. Thanks as well for the freedom to embrace you. Thank you for loving us even so from your boundless and gracious nature. Therefore, I pray for our mayor and for all our government leaders here today. I pray for the scholarship recipients, the city of Tampa, and I pray for your blessing of our Latino community. It is in your most blessed name I pray, amen.
At this time, please enjoy your lunch as we continue with our program. This event would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. Please join me in thanking our bronze sponsors, BMO Harris, Centennial Bank, Florida Blue, Helios Education Foundation, Publix Supermarket, Raymond James and Associates, Suncoast Credit Union, Tampa Bay Race, Wells Fargo, and CGS Communications Telemundo. Let's give them a round of applause. Our in-kind sponsors, 92.5 Maxima, 106.5 La Rumba, ABC Action News, Allegra Printing, Clear Channel Outdoor, Entravision Communications, Univision, Tampa Bay Times, Tampa Media Group Centro, and WEDU TV. Again, let's give him a round of applause. At this time, we would like to invite all elected officials to please stand and be recognized. All elected officials, thank you for your service and for attending this important event for our community. I would like to mention that this fall, the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council will recognize Judge E.J. Salcines with a bronze statue in honor of all his years of service to our community. The event will take place in front of the old Hillsborough County Courthouse at 2 p.m. on October 27th. This event is free and open to the public. We would like to also recognize the members of the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council who have worked diligently to make this event possible. Please stand and be recognized. Before we go any further, we would like to show our respect to our veterans, those who are currently serving, and their families. If you are a service member or a family member, please stand. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. And now the reason for this event, our students. Students and scholarship recipients, please stand and be recognized. Don't be shy. It is now my pleasure to introduce our head table. Starting from my left, our higher education partners. From the University of South Florida, and on behalf of President Judy Genshaft, Dr. Paul Dosal. University of Tampa President, Dr. Ron Vaughn. Representing Hillsborough Community College, Dr. Sean Robinson. Mr. Tony Morejon, recipient of the 2017 Matilde Garcia Leadership Award. Mr. Anthony Perez, Chair of the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council. The Mayor of the City of Tampa, Bob Buckhorn. And our keynote speaker and president of the Columbia Restaurant Group, Mr. Richard Gonzmart. The City of Tampa's Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council was established in 1983 by former Mayor and Governor Bob Martinez. It consists of volunteer professionals appointed by the mayor. They come from all walks of life, professions, and backgrounds. They serve as an advisory group to the mayor when dealing with issues relevant to the community, to the Hispanic community. In 1997, the council founded the Latinos Unidos luncheon to showcase the economic impact of the Hispanic community, not only in Tampa, but the entire country. Proceeds from the Latinos Unidos luncheon have established endowed scholarships for deserving Hispanic students in financial need at the University of South Florida, the University of Tampa, and Hillsborough Community College. Since its inception, this event has raised more than $500,000 to assist our students. But we cannot do this without your support. On your tables, you will find pledge cards that provide you with information on how you can support our efforts beyond this event. Please take a moment to fill out the cards and place them in the envelopes provided at the center of the table. Members of the council will collect the envelopes at the end of the event. We thank you in advance for your continued support. But more importantly, our students thank you. In 2013, the council established the Matilde Martinez Garcia Leadership Award to honor community leaders who make extraordinary contributions to the Hispanic community of Hillsborough County. Some of our prior recipients are here with us today. If you could please stand. Rafael Martinez Ibor, first recipient of this award, and Dr. Luz Lono, 2014 recipient of the award. To introduce this year's award recipient is the chair of the award committee, Ms. Patsy Sanchez.
Muy buenas tardes. I'm Patsy Sanchez, chair of the Matilde Garcia Leadership Award and immediate past chair of this council. It is my pleasure to this afternoon present to you this year's Matilde Garcia Leadership Award winner. As you may know, each year, the council honors a person or organization that has made extraordinary contributions to the Hispanic community of Hillsborough County. Established in 2013, the award is in honor of our very own Matilde Martinez Garcia, respected community leader and charter member of this council. This year, it is my pleasure to present this award to Mr. Tony Moten, Hillsborough County Hispanic Affairs Liaison. From community advocacy to assisting families resolve their problems, to helping new residents acclimate to Tampa, to educating us with hurricane preparedness tips in English and in Spanish, what you're about to hear is a composite of voices of those who know him best and how they describe him. Mr. Tony Moten has served the citizens of Hillsborough County for 33 years. He is a strong advocate for the Hispanic community. He hosted county television Informes Latinos and Vistas. He's an active volunteer for many Tampa Bay organizations, including Florida Latino Community Coalition, Hispanic Business Initiative Fund, LULAC, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Advisory Council. He championed the first celebration of Hispanic heritage in Hillsborough County, a tradition that has continued for 27 years. He is the link between county government and the Hispanic community. Founder and president of the Hillsborough County Advisory Council, a true leader whose energy and passion for our Hispanic community is exemplified through his relentless and countless grassroots efforts that have opened doors of opportunity for many in Tampa. He is the essence of our city of Tampa Hispanic heritage and exudes the same type of aura and magnetism Matilde was known for. So please help me recognize this year's 2017 Matilde Garcia Leadership Award, Mr. Tony Moten. We'd like to ask the mayor to join us as we present him with a plaque for his service to Hillsborough County.
Thank you, sir. You got it. It's all mine, she said. It's overwhelming to be honored for something that you love. People say, yeah, that's his job. Nah, I'm one of the luckiest people you ever meet. I get to wake up every morning and deal with people, deal with the community that I love, and to protect it, to make it stronger. I set out about 34 years ago to do my part. And if I were to thank people name by name, we'd be here for 6 weeks. Many of you in this audience, who without you I couldn't do it. Not too long ago, I found out I was in real debt. I owed a lot. And I owe it to you. I owe it to the people that believed, the people that stood by my side, people that might have been scared when it came to be scared, but they stood there. They might have stood behind me, but they took that stand. It's the kind of person Matilde was. You know her. I knew her well. Her, Raymond Fernandez, a lot of leaders had passed. They were Hispanic when it wasn't cool to be Hispanic. So was I. I remember going to school and having to explain things to people, and they're like, what? But it's okay. We've made it. It's 2017. We're here. Estamos juntos. As our good mayor says, la paella. We're a part of this thing. We've got good leaders. We've got good folks working. Good people out there that when you call them, they pick up the phone, they're there. They stand by you. I'm a testament to that. I'm nobody special. I'm just like you. Maybe fatter, balder, sometimes funnier. But we're all here the same. I am going to name one man. It was the guy when I first started with the county. He was, Tony, you want to succeed here? I said, sure. He said, here's my secret. His name was Manuel Abelaida. He's passed already, too. He said, treat people how you want to be treated. It's the secret to success in this business, the people business. Be sincere. He goes, but treat them how you want to be treated. So if you see me in the hallway kissing somebody, hugging them, that's the way I like to be. I like to be that person. Today I've got my brother, who also works in the county, in the public. My son Kevin works for the sheriff. My other son Anthony is a firefighter. My other sister works also for Veterans Affairs. We're a family that believes in it. We were taught that. It's the way we were raised. That's the way I raised my kids. I told somebody today was a really nervous day for me, and I'm usually not nervous. I'm pretty calm and cool. I didn't know what I'd say. I don't have to say much. You being here, supporting this, supporting the Matilde Garcia, supporting Latinos Unidos, says it all. Thank you for letting me be a part of it and for honoring me today. Muchas gracias. Lo quiero.
At this time, I would like to call to the podium the chairman of the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council, Mr. Anthony Perez.
Congratulations again, Tony. Well-deserving recipient. Thank you. Like Maribel said, my name is Anthony Perez, and I have the honor of being the chair for the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council. I have many responsibilities, as you can imagine, but one of the responsibilities that I take most serious is making sure that we have what I call an all-hands-on-deck approach to making sure that we're carrying out our mission, our vision. So with that, I'd like to make an announcement to all of you here. We have 2 openings on our council. If you or someone you know is interested in serving your community in this capacity, you can get more information on tampa.gov, or you can go to our Facebook page, Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council, Tampa Bay, or you can just find one of the many members of the council who are here. We're all identified with a silver name tag. Now I have the distinct privilege, I would say, to introduce our next speaker to the podium, a man who needs very little introduction, a man who is leading the city of Tampa in all areas from innovation to technology, jobs, housing, tourism, the list goes on and on. A man who, if you follow on social media, could make you believe that it is possible to be in 2 places at one time. Mayor, we don't know how you do it, but we're certainly glad you do. Please help me welcome our mayor, Bob Buckhorn.
Anthony, the trick to being in 2 places at one time is very simple. It's called Red Bull. To all of you, first of all, let me say thank you. This is not the biggest crowd we've ever had. Certainly, it rivals the biggest crowd that we have ever had. You know, for me, this is one of my favorite events every year, because embodied in this event and embodied in the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Committee is what makes this city so special. You know, I look around this room and I see corporations who understand that it's not always about the bottom line. It's about building a community, and by building a community and by doing good, your bottom line will be just fine. I see in the academic institutions that are here today, the economic engines that are driving this community forward. And make no mistakes, folks, this is not the city that it was 6, 7, 8 years ago. This is a city that's in the midst of an amazing transformation. And it is a city that is turning the next chapter in our book. It is a city that has become that place in America where everybody wants to be. It's a city that attracts the best and the brightest. It's a city that in 5, 10 short years you will not recognize, because we will have lived up to our expectations and we will have become that place of hope, that place of destiny, that place in America where everybody wants to come and be a part of. But in order to do that, we have to do a couple things. One is to celebrate the amazing diversity that we call Tampa. We are not some white bread southern city, and that's a good thing. We look like the world. We speak the languages of the world. We're a city that doesn't build walls but builds bridges. A city that doesn't create lists but creates ladders of opportunity. There is a power in our purpose. This is a city that recognizes that it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter the language that you speak. It doesn't matter how long you have been here. All that matters is that you believe in this place called Tampa and you want to do your part to be a Tampanian. But what also matters is that we recognize that we've got an obligation to that next generation. That as we have done well, we have to do good by others. And that there are young people out there who need our help, some of whom are here today. Young people that you will never know, that you will never meet, that don't look like you, that are not related to you, but they will be that next generation that we will pass this torch to. And without them, what do we have? Without you, what do they have? So I thank you for believing in the capacity of Tampa to be that city, but more importantly, I thank you for investing in this next generation of kids that will take the reins from all of us up here, and someday one of them may be standing here as the alcalde. So keep believing in this community and keep believing in the power of doing good. This is a place where children of privilege and children of lesser means deserve to sit at the same table of opportunity. That's what you're doing for these young people. And you do it every day, not because you believe in what's good for you, but you believe in what's good for us. That's why we're special. That's what makes Tampanians. And you should be damn proud of it. And don't ever forget, and don't ever let them divide us. Don't get me going here. All right. I'm not going to read all this. Now, therefore, I, Bob Buckhorn, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Tampa, Florida, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, May 17th, 2017, my wife's birthday. I had to say that, otherwise I'll be in trouble when I get home. That and the fact that the reporter from Telemundo got makeup all over my jacket, so I got to... But I do have the only job where I don't go home with makeup on my jacket. My wife doesn't say to me, honey, you haven't been working hard enough. So in honor of all of that, today is Latinos Unidos Day in the city of Tampa. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you. Muchas gracias. Now comes the fun part. You know, historically, we've gone outside the city to find prominent Hispanics from around the country and around the globe to come and speak to this event. We've had some amazing speakers. Last year, we had Jorge Perez from Related. But this year, we didn't have to go any further than Ybor City, to find somebody who embodies what it means to be a Tampanian, what it means to be Hispanic, what it means to be a citizen that does good by doing well by others. We know his family story. We've eaten his food for decades. I'm 10 pounds heavier because of all of the yellow rice and Cuban bread. But this is a guy who's special. He is one of us. But most importantly, this is a guy who understands about giving back. This is somebody who believes that as he has been blessed, he has a fundamental moral obligation to be a blessing to other people. He has done well, make no mistake about it. His family has done well. Generations of this family continue to carry on the legacy. But what makes our speaker special is not his financial success, but what he does to help other people along the way. Whether it's Jesuit high school, whether it's kids who, but for a hand up, would not make it. This is a Tampanian with a big heart. And somebody who knows that if we're going to build this community, that not all of us arrived here with the same means, but that all of us deserve the opportunity to compete and to do well. This is a guy who never stops giving, never stops asking, what can I do? Never wants to be thanked, but only asks for the opportunity to do more by other people. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a few people in our community that have changed the face of this city, that have touched more lives, that continue every day to focus on what makes Tampa great, but most importantly, what our future looks like, and how can we be better citizens and better members of this community. Ladies and gentlemen, he is one of us. He has changed this city. He has shaped this city. His family name is known throughout this community. We could not be prouder today. I could not be more honored to count him as a friend. Let's stand and give a rounding of applause to Richard Gonzmart.
Please, thank you. It sounds like I'm running for mayor. You know, when the mayor says he runs on Red Bull and that he's 2 places, well, people think I'm at 3 or 4 places, and I run on café con leche. You know, I wake up at 1 in the morning, and because I can't wait to start the day. I can't wait to think about what's going to happen. And I congratulate Tony for the well-deserved recognition. What the? I've got time limits, Tony.
Love you, Rick.
Hey, Tony, I love you too. But I humbly stand before you. You understand, I'm just blessed to have been born to a wonderful family, to a great-grandfather who had the courage to leave his native country of Cuba with no education, for an opportunity to move to Ybor City, an area that was known for its tobacco. And he worked hard, and he had 4 young sons and that didn't really have an opportunity for an education. But he saved up the money where in 1903, on December 17th, he opened the Columbia Saloon. Opened 24 hours a day. There wasn't even a front door for the workers that would walk to and from the 180 cigar factories. And you look at a family business. Here we are, Florida's oldest restaurant, one of only 14 in the United States, still 100% controlled and owned by the founding family. But what I learned from my great-grandfather, even though I didn't know him, and from my grandfather, Casimiro Hernandez, was that you never give up. Because there was a day during the Great Depression that there was $12 were sold, and my grandfather tells his friend Gregorio Martinez, another day like that, and he would have to close the door. Well, Gregorio came with his life savings of $500 and said, Casimiro, too many families depend on you, and the Moret families from La Segunda Central
and the Gallardo family from Florida Dairy, now known as Sunny Florida Dairy. And these three families have been doing business together for over 100 years on a handshake. Because those were times when people didn't have jobs and didn't have food, and we provided. So you have to understand, it's been instilled in me. I've been taught from that early age, from as young as I can remember, from my mom. She received a college education because her father instructed her to. And I'm just that caretaker, and I'm trying to make sure that the next generation understands the importance of giving back, because each generation, including mine, 22 years ago when I inherited a problem that actually people don't realize that was in jeopardy of existing, in foreclosure, and not paying sales tax. And then I, an ADD, dyslexic individual, had to understand that I had to take the reins of this business. I'm a person of great, great faith. And when you have faith, you have something more. You have that which will support you, God. I prayed to God that if He gave me the courage, the strength, and the wisdom, I would always say yes and always help those in need. I would help to make sure that they'd have an education, because it was 26 years ago when we didn't realize the situation we're in. My mother comes to me in the cafe. She says, Richard, we're going to start an education program at USF. We're going to have a scholarship that we're going to fund and recognize this young lady with a scholarship. I tried to understand, why was that important? That young lady, Paula Seguiera, now is a doctor. She's at UCLA Medical School. It rang a bell. Gosh, we made a difference in that life. And then when I came over my challenges, my mother says, now that you've been able to turn this company around, and now that you've been able and been blessed, it's a responsibility now to sponsor a young student. And you're going to sponsor Julio Rodriguez. I said, okay. And I'm going to sponsor his sister, Elsie. And she told me the story that this brother and sister, the father had died in the fields, a migrant worker and a single mother, and they had a younger sister. We had to provide them that opportunity. They were at Brandon High School. They were in the honor roll. And to see what that gift, to give somebody an opportunity to get an education. When Julio graduated with a 4.0 in engineering, and he's been working for 15 years with GE Aeronautical. And his sister Elsie was the outstanding senior out of 5,800 students. She had a job with New Mexico Nuclear Energy. That following Christmas, Julio came to see me at my office, and he sat there. He's Mr. Gonzmart, and I said, please call me Richard, and that's my father. It makes me feel old when people say that. He says, when I was a senior in Brandon, I sat there looking at the windows, which fields I might be picking tomatoes and strawberries. That was powerful. And I remember his mother telling my mother that she wanted to get down on her knees and kiss her feet, and that made me cry. Because any deserving child that has that desire, that work ethic to do well, that will knock down all those barriers that we have before us. Because believe me, I understand what discrimination is, and I understand what my family's been through. And it's when you succeed that people then all want to talk to you. It's then that they want to do business with you. But I don't forget what I believe in those that have been believing in me. And when you shake hands, it's more important than any contract. Because I could tell you the story of Serafin Martinez. I get emotional, so excuse me. Who for 47 years was a server at the Columbia, and he worked a split shift. And he'd go home to make sure he could play baseball with his son. And he put his son through the University of Florida. He put his son through law school. And he retired after 47 years when his son became the mayor of Tampa, Bob Martinez, the governor of Florida. And I think about Ramonin Lopez, who at the age of 83, I had so much respect for this gentleman, the most professional person in my life. I can remember him at 12 years old, always taking the orders by memory and never using a tray, all armed service, and always knowing who his customers were and what they wanted. I was in awe of Ramonin Lopez. And his son suggested he retire at the age of 83 after his second pacemaker. His son was chief of neurology, University of Miami, and his grandson's an attorney here today, Ray Lopez in Tampa. Education. It helps those realize that which they dream. But dreams can only be achieved through hard work. And when we set up this scholarship after my mother passed away for the Columbia 100th anniversary and endowment, we set up an endowment in honor of my mother and my father. Because although during their life they weren't able to do what I am doing today, I know that they believed that it was strong, that it was important to do that. And 3 of the seniors that graduated, they're under scholarships. 2 are in pre-med going to medical school, and others in engineering. The best gift I could ever ask from anybody is to see that of a child receiving an education and the respect of his peers. It's through that effort that when we give to others, you realize that. I went to Jesuit high school, very struggled through that school, and I had my 4-year transcripts on my desk, and I told Nick Szynski when he sent that to me 8 years ago, I said, "Is this blackmail?" Because I was a poor student because of my learning challenges. And it's not a disability, because each one of us have the ability to make a difference. You know, they don't know how to grade out and test for creativity. We each have some talent, and I engage that. And I look at the school systems. When I go to Blake High School, I was so amazed by the principal, Jesse Salters, and walking around seeing students that were excited and teachers that were happy. And seeing them engaged in playing in the orchestra, the choir, and piano, and guitar, and sculpting, and painting. You know, some people say that education is broken. I say it can be fixed. And through your gift here, the Mayor's scholarships, the 40 young students receiving that gift of an education, something that nobody will ever take away from them. Something that they could hang their head high. That's the best gift I think any of us could ask. And know that today, because each one of you are here, you are helping one of those students. At Jesuit, I have a scholarship for a student of that nature that needs that help at the Academy of the Holy Names. I do as well. I've set 2 endowments there at Tampa Catholic. Because they need to know that we do care. They have to know that we want to make a difference, that we want to knock down these barriers. And I posted something today where somebody took negative, said, "I am so proud of my heritage. My name is Gonzalez Martinez Hernandez Biglotto." Well, no, my real name is Ricardo Orlando Hernandez Gonzalez Gonzmart. In Orlando, I found out as an adult, that's where I was conceived. I told my mom I really didn't need to know that. But, you know, I am proud of that, and the fact that my legal last name is actually Gonzalez-Gonzmart, and that was his stage name. And so people think that I wanted to Americanize it. No, that's not the case. And when I go to Spain and they think I'm from Cuba, I say, I am. I'm from Tampa, from Ybor City. Just don't ask me to do an interview on TV. I get really nervous. But, you know, I'm proud, and I love to speak Spanish, and I'm proud of that. And so that my wife and my oldest daughter. But we can never forget where we came from those pioneers, and those that are first generation getting an education. That's what makes this country great. I believe when you work with local banks and local companies and local auditors and local attorneys and what have you, local farmers and ranchers. I'm meeting with a rancher today, a 5-generation rancher, right after this meeting, about how we can improve his opportunity. And I'm working with farmers, orange groves. If the orange groves have disappeared, and working with Moten Marine, where we could teach them a new way to farm, which is farm raising pompano in a tank that has filtered water, retracting the waste and making it fertilizer and growing greens. It's a healthy way of doing it. I'm not against farming, but listen, I'm a dreamer. And because I'm blessed with this wonderful ADD, I've got so many projects going on, and the mayor was asking me about my Fairyland figurines because he's a supporter of it, and those that don't think he is, don't understand, he and I would look at it. It takes me back to my childhood when I was 5 years old. And I took my grandfather. My grandfather would take me there. And my grandfather would take me to Plant Park at University of Tampa where the streams were and the bronze dogs. And I told this story yesterday at the USF Summit Innovation. How do you put a price on memories? How can you put a price on that memory? And when I think of that, my grandfather's with me. And I said yesterday, and I say this all the time, that I just hope and pray that my grandchildren will think that their grandfather tried to make a difference to leave this place a better world for the citizens of Tampa. That students, like I've spoke at to 650 kids at Jefferson in the magnet schools, and afterwards they were engaged with me. I spoke to the student body, government of all the schools at Steinbrenner recently. And you could see all they need is some hope. That's to know that you care, and you care, and you care. Because the mayor cares, and I care, and Tony cares. And the whole Hispanic Advisory Council cares. They just have to hear that we're here for them. You know, ladies and gentlemen, life is short. My wife tries to keep on telling me that I should slow down at the age of 64. But I've run 26 marathons because I don't like marathons. And I ran 4 with a broken tailbone that I broke 3 weeks before. Because my faith, I prayed to God that if he gave me the ability, I would do it, and I would never complain about anything. I'm not complaining. It prepares you for that you face, those challenges, that if you give up, you're in trouble. You must always overcome every obstacle and look forward and be positive. Positive creates more positive energy. Negativity only creates negativity. And when you go to my Facebook page, it's just positive. I won't get into it about negative comments, won't get into you about political. And today, 3 people posted negative things about my post about helping improve education for these young students. I don't get it. I really don't. I got engaged. They said I'm confused. We're all human beings. That's the last thing I know, and I'm proud that my family's from Cuba, and I'm proud that my family's from Spain. But if we could all just understand and respect one another, if we could all just show kindness, compassion, generosity, God, wouldn't this be a wonderful place? Wouldn't it be a great place that if we talk to each other instead of texting one another? You know, a cell phone, I saw a joke. I feel like the cell phone has got me behind a cell, and I don't take it with me often. But I like that communication, being here to talk to you all today, to share some of my thoughts, my vision. I'm not a Don Quixote fighting that windmill. I'm just a dreamer that wants to help make these dreams come true of Tampa. And when I went to Atlanta to go look for a restaurant site, that they asked me to go up there, I told them to take me back to Tampa. I've got these projects where we're going to build a history, tell the history of those people that called Tampa home. We'll build an old Italian market based on 1900 with a bakery inside, Agliano seafood, Pardo's meat market inside. Wedding cakes being done by a young lady that I provided education at the Culinary Institute of America. It's going to be an Epcot of markets. We'll have the Valenti produce and tomatoes. Each one will tell the story of those people that made Tampa what it is. And then we're going to build that Sicilian restaurant in Santo Stefano, a little village where 80% of the people came back to Tampa in 1900. I visited that village and had people going there. You see, when I think of Latinos, isn't our language of English based on Latin and the Italians and the Spanish? It's today that I'm proud to be here before you. And what I've done, I was listening to a song this morning. I always say things happen to me. And I was listening to a song by Al Rowe, Never Giving Up. My wife says, I can't control when I'm no longer here. I says, I'm never giving up even when this life is over. Because the endowments that I will leave at the University of South Florida, hopefully that will be 20 students annually. And that will be 10 students at Jesuit annually. And at the academy, 5 students. That spirit that I had to give those students a chance will live on. You have to see that with these challenges that I faced, I'll never forget. I'm eternally grateful for the Almighty that gave me that opportunity. And with that success, every year we will increase that opportunity for others. And I talked about a young lady that, a young man that didn't get to walk in his graduation because he needed to take one course and he's a sous chef. I'm going to share my report card with him. You see, I was 116 out of 126 in my class. And I'm proud of it. Because this student made the single largest gift to Jesuit High School from an alumni. Now has the second largest. Not boasting, I'm just trying to tell you that if you have nothing, you can be something. If you believe, you can achieve. That if you work hard, it's your responsibility. It's my moral responsibility. It's all of our responsibility to make this world a better place for those that deserve it. Because you're here, you are making a difference, and I'm proud. And I was nervous. I said, I don't write speeches. And I told Patsy Feliciano Sanchez, I said, I knew what was going to happen, and I respect her leadership. And there was a woman, though, that started it all. That's Donna Perino, that I saw today. And Rafael Martinez-Ibor. You don't talk about names, but you talk about people that have inspired you. So as I like to say in my emails, and here's to life and embracing each day with gratitude, with passion, with compassion, with kindness, generosity, faith, integrity, and purpose. And that's the way I live my life. And if you do, you could be as happy as I am. So God bless each one of you, and I thank you for having me here today. God bless.
Richard. He's busy talking. Richard.
He's got so much energy, the temperature went up here a couple degrees up here while he was speaking.
Richard, if you join us over here. On behalf of the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council, we just want to thank you for being here and for supporting our efforts.
Thank you very much.
And on behalf of the Mayor's Hispanic Advisory Council, we would like to once again thank you for being here with us today. Don't forget the pledge cards on your tables. We will collect those after the event is over. And we would like to wish you all a good afternoon. And thank you for being here. Thank you.